Hey gang, hello. Welcome to another YouTube video. We're going to be starting a new series of videos where I kind of talk about the arcs that I read, kind of give them a little highlight, their own spot, rather than just trying to mush it all into the monthly wrap up. So this is going to be the first one. I wish I had thought about this last month, but it's fine. We're making progress. We are going to be talking about Till Death by Miss Miranda Lyn. So this is the very first book that I have ever read by Miranda, and I was super excited. I really enjoyed this, and let me read you the synopsis. I always do like it's not necessarily a cold read because I've read it, but I have not read it aloud. So we're gonna do our best here. Beyond the realm of gods, two cities stands at the brink of despair, and a darker destiny awaits death's newest maiden. Long ago, Requiem was plagued by a war and abandoned by the gods, but death saved the suffering people, giving each soul 100 years of immortality. With that grace, he also sent two maidens, one of life for healing and comfort, and one of death, the only person in the world with the ability to kill. Generations later, the life maiden is missing, and Princess Denaria, I'm apologies if that's not how you pronounce it, is nothing more than a trained weapon, a hunter, a murderer wrenched into death's dark court to have the name of her next victim seared into her palm. She is the enemy of this land, but when she's given the chance to bring peace through marriage and finally show her father's kingdom her worth, she is viciously tricked into marrying the wrong man. Ruining the future of the damaged realm, her only hope is to give something back to the world, is to find the missing life maiden. Now eternally bound to her enemy and dragged into the dark burlesque show her new husband is bound to, she must fight to keep herself free and her heart, especially when she becomes the hunted. We have strangers to lovers, back to stranger slash enemy, back to like it is so good. Also, we have my favorite trope. We have a found family trope. Yes, yes. Now I'm gonna read you out what I wrote as my typed review because I feel like it really like punched because I wrote it like right after I read it because I was like I have thoughts about this and I need to put them down or else I will lose them because I was like I won't have time to remember everything to make a video. So which is why we're gonna read it to you all now. So the first thing I really loved was I loved the dedication and this one as well. Same thing like of darkness and ruination. I loved the dedication. It stuck out to me so much. But let me read that to you. It says, "You never let someone defeat you. You stand, you step, you rise. This world will eat you whole if you let it." We're just gonna take a moment to marinate on like yes. I loved it. So at first, 100% at first, I had a little bit of a hard time getting into it. And I wrote as roughly the first 15-ish percent because it was a lot of kind of like building up. You're meeting Denaria, like you're meeting her and you're kind of seeing the world. But it was just, but I was still interested. I was just like, okay. I was like, I know it's gonna get there. I could tell it was gonna get there. And so when I got in, we were in. We were in. I devoured this book. Where is she? My little Kindle. We were BFFs during this read, okay? BFFs. And it's just the journey, the growth that she has to go through. Like, it is difficult. She's got a lot of stuff to go through. Like, she's dealing with, she loves her kingdom, she loves her people, but they are afraid of her. Like, every time they see her, there is fear. And it's because she's the Death Maiden, but she didn't have a choice. And it's something that she is compelled to do. And you see it first, like she talks about it when she in the first few chapters when she gets her first like that you see the name on the palm like from the next one and she talks about like I have to do this within this amount of time, like the madness will set in. This is not, apologies if you can hear my cat screaming in the background. um she just she has to. And so when they talk about this arranged marriage, is she thrilled? Absolutely not. But again, she loves her people. Or yeah. So she's not thrilled about this arranged marriage, but she loves her people and she wants to make her father proud. Like at the end of the day, the king, even if he is a bit of a dick to her, that's still her dad and she still wants to make him proud as well. And it's crazy. So her arranged marriage fiance, the new king, shows up and says, "Hey, we should do this on our terms." That is not what happens. That was not on either of their terms. That was, it was crazy. And we can't really get into more past that because that's when it talks about it a little in the blurb, but like the show her actual husband in is like essentially a burlesque show and things. It it's a wild ride. It is a wild ride. I will say I I was a little iffy about the main male character. It took a while for him to like grow on me and be like, okay, like I understand him and I enjoy him, but it was written in such a good way that I feel like that was how it was meant to come across. And if it was, like, yes, Miranda, you did it. It was great. And the side characters, like, this book had me in tears. I cried. I'm laying on my couch. I'm snuggled up under a blanket with my Kindle. We're reading, and then all of a sudden, I had to put my Kindle down because we were crying. And I don't just mean like a couple of little like watery eyes. I mean like tears coming down my face because that found family, like the way she wrote all of these other characters and how they intertwine and how they eventually like interact with day, like it was just like, damn. So it was like I almost didn't want to keep going because I was so sad, but I said no. I have to finish this. I have to see where this goes. I have to see what the payoff was for this thing happening that made me cry. Um and then the only reason it did not get a 5 out of 5 stars for me is there's just like the last 20 to 30 pages there was just little things that either felt it was like they were rushed or they just needed a little bit more explanation or a little bit more like fluff to them, I guess. Um but other than that, like this was a solid book. And I believe it is supposed to be a standalone if I'm remembering correctly. Um but I really hope to see more another book, more books of this universe. And maybe if Day's story is done, like what about our side characters, what about that them found family members. I can talk today, and like I want to know their stories. So I would definitely recommend it. It is so good. It does have some spice, but it's not overwhelming. So if you're like, I don't know, because when you read it, it's like you're like, is this gonna get spicy? You might say in the reviews and stuff. It is not too spicy. It is perfectly spiced enough and delicious, and I really enjoyed it, like I said. And I definitely would recommend. It is now on Kindle Unlimited right now, so if you are a Kindle book nerd, and if not, you can buy a physical copy of it as well. I do believe she also said that it is now up on Audible, so if you are a audio person and that is much easier for you to read, I will link all of those things down in this description below so you can go check them out. And if you have read Till Death, let me know. Geek out with me, please. None of my friends have read this. I'm trying to get one of my coworkers to read it. But yeah, I need some folks to chat about it with. And let me know your thoughts. Or if you didn't like it, what didn't you like about it? And yeah, I'm really excited to start sharing more specifics and giving all these arcs their own time in the spotlight because they deserve it. And these authors work really hard. Not that all authors don't, but I feel like especially when it's a brand new novel, gotta get talking about it because maybe there's people who haven't heard of Miranda Lyn like me. I hadn't heard of her until then. And definitely gonna be an author that I go back and I read more of. And I definitely will be reading Till Death again, I think, at some point. Because I feel like I'll get more out of it now that I kind of like know that first 15%, like I know where it's going to go so I can really absorb myself into the story more. Yeah. So that's my ramble and excitement about To Till Death by Miranda Lyn. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Go drink some water. And again, if you've read it, let me know what your thoughts are. And I will see you next time.